Welcome to the Betting Expert Nigeria podcast, a Nigeria-made version of the very popular Betting Expert podcast. As you all know, Nigeria has a huge betting market, and it's no surprise that betting experts are looking to connect with their friends and readers from Nigeria. This channel is going to bring football and betting in a way that you've never seen before, from the latest betting news to expert tips and insights, Tipster Competitions, and a very unique betting academy. This channel is set to bring lots of excitement, and this excitement will not come from me alone. Joining me here on set is not Sam and definitely not Dan, but Cerebrone, Nigeria's biggest Valencia fan and League One follower. Nice to have you here on set, man.
Thank you. You flatter
Can
me.
you give a figure of like your biggest win?
250,000 from 1,000 naira. So like
Almost 200 odds.
yeah. I was on fire.
That's a mad one, though.
I think around that time I won back to back, like 3 different bets. So
And
it was like
what's
250, 180, 150, like that. So, but that was a long time ago.
Okay, a long time ago.
A long time ago.
Okay. And what's your biggest loss? That amount that you put and you were like, nah, never again.
Yeah, it was 50,000 naira. I broke my rules because normally I don't bet more than 1,000, at most 5,000 naira at a go. But I broke my rules that one time because I felt like I was on fire. So let me make my millions. And yeah, it was a red, like the entire thing.
Of course, rules. Speaking about rules, I mean, that's something we'll be discussing on this channel in our Betting Expert Academy. But it's coincidental that you mentioned, breaking your rules, because I was just about to ask you, what's the number one rule you have when it comes to betting?
Well, it is that I shouldn't chase losses and especially not be desperate. Because if we're talking about losses, it's not just about what you've just bet and lost. It's also about when you thought you were going to win 1 million or something and maybe one game cuts it. It feels like a loss. In reality, maybe you lost 1,000 naira, but it feels like you lost 1 million. So you want to go back in, you're desperate, you feel so, and then you chase it, and it's always a bad idea.
Yeah, for all our viewers out there, many more of that will be coming on this channel. We will not just be bringing tips to you, but also rules that you should follow to become a better every day. And now we'll be going right into the thick of today's action, where we'll be discussing the roundup for league football across Europe's top 5 leagues. Stay with us. And we're right here back in the Betting Expert Nigeria studio. With me here, of course, I already introduced him as Cerebrone, Nigeria's biggest League One fan. And I don't know why he supports Valencia, but okay. We'll talk about that another time. And for those that missed it already, this is the Betting Expert Nigeria podcast. And we are not only on YouTube, but we're also on Telegram and on Twitter. And you can follow us via the social media handles showing on your screen right now. And just before we get into the thick of the action, it would be wrong if I don't introduce another brilliant person right here in the studio with us. I mean, what is better than 2 strikers in football? 3 deadly strikers. It's like Haaland, Mbappe, and Harry Kane. I'm not going to say who is who.
Mbappe.
I'm not going to say who is who, but imagine a deadly trio of Haaland, Mbappe, and Harry Kane. That is what 3 of us are right here on set. And joining us to complete the deadly trio is the Duchess of Sports, and she'll be doing this with myself and Cerebrone on the Betting Expert Nigeria show. It's good to have you on here.
Always a nice one to be here with you, Kay and Cerebrone.
As I know you're a Real Madrid fan, so I think you'll be the Mbappe.
The trophy. We've drank wine with it during the week.
I was going to say congratulations to you after winning over the weekend, but I personally do not like Real Madrid, so sorry. I'm keeping my congratulations.
No problem.
I'm giving my congratulations to myself, and I will swallow it. I will swallow it. No, you're not in the conversation. You're not in the conversation for now. All right, so let's go straight into the discussion proper. 4 out of 5 top European leagues have already been concluded. We already know their winners, except one league that calls itself the most popular league in the world, if you agree. Now, the Premier League is the only one yet to be concluded. Arsenal and City are having a go at it. City are looking to win the 4th unprecedented title, while Arsenal are looking to win their first title since
2004.
Man, it pains me to say that, but I mean, that's the reality of things right now. Arsenal have 2 games to go, while City have 3, including an outstanding fixture. But anyways, Cerebrone, what's your general appraisal of the Premier League season so far?
Well, I think it has been an interesting season, a lot of goals. And of course, as fans of football, neutrals, everybody would just like to see goals. So it's nice to see goals. But I hope that the narrative, changes now about the Premier League and it being so hard to score in. Because that's something everybody always says. Oh, Bundesliga, they're always scoring goals. But we're seeing it in the Premier League now.
Highest scoring, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So it just shows that, well, if you have a league where a lot of players are just on their game, a lot of strikers, you're definitely going to see goals. A great season so far, and I love that the title race is going down to the wire. Unfortunately, the relegation race is just completely forgettable. Sheffield have considered over 100 goals, which I think is very disgraceful. I don't know why they came up and came to deliver this, but yeah, it takes a lot to be worse than Derby of 2007, was it? So yeah, great season
So
altogether.
do you share the same sentiment? Great season so far.
Yes, it's been an exciting season for one team that continued with their consistency, which is Arsenal, and that was
Respect,
predictable.
respect.
Yes, and one other team too. I felt they would struggle because of their the treble that they did last season. That's Manchester City, but they came on this season still firing all cylinders, having a chance to go at the title. We were thinking it's going to be a three-horse race, but Liverpool sort of fell off the ladder, so it's just now a two-horse race. So
Crashed.
it's been exciting getting to see Dominic Solanke score that number of goals. Cole Palmer, I never expected that. It feels like Chelsea did a behind business against them against Manchester City because for that price, I don't think it's worth and much you should have paid for a player like Cole Palmer. But that's a good thing when you do good business.
So in a nutshell, you also agree that the season has been great.
Yes, it's been great. Apart from the relegation threatened, not they are bound sort of because I feel it's one season that we've seen teams that came from the championship going back to the championship. Unlike them, would see one of the Premier League
Yeah.
teams.
Yeah, I particularly agree with both of you guys, especially from a betting perspective, where we've seen a 3.26 number of goals in the percentage of goals scored per game. We've also seen a 55% increase in the number of games where both teams have scored. And this, for those who don't know, this is the highest scoring season in the Premier League history since its inception. We've also seen a record number of extra time, which might have led to maybe the increase in number of goals, but it's been a roller coaster.
And most of those goals have been scored in the last 15 minutes.
Exactly.
Of the
So
game. So
it's been a roller coaster season so far, and by now we already know which bets were mistakes and which bookmaker odds were rubbish. Special silence to those that backed Nicolas Jackson to win the Golden Boot. Special silence for those that backed Chelsea to make the top
why are you
four.
forgetting Darwin Nunes? I think Jackson has done enough for this season.
Well, to be fair, he has
He has
been on
done
a good
enough.
scoring form of late, and he's ended the season
Considering
Yeah,
strong.
he has
missed so
earned.
many.
But one special thing that stands out is the fact that Newcastle, they finished strong last season. They got into this season's Champions League.
Yeah.
And in many predictions so far, even on betting expert, many people tipped the Magpies to make the top four. But it's not looking like it today. What do you make of that?
Yeah, it's one struggle. It's something that happens with teams. You see a good run on games. Remember when the manager was brought in, Eddie Howe, felt like a miraculous thing that he has done. But when it comes to success, it takes a certain level of consistency and also mentality to keep up with that form. I think even having the Champions League to play too must have been a strain on the side of Newcastle because even in the Premier League, we've seen them score. Alexander Isak, I think 19 goals now.
20.
20.
Oh, 20, that's true.
Yep.
The weekend, he may increase the numbers. I just feel when it comes to the top four, it's a big race. If you had seen United last season, you think this season they won't be in that contention. But sorry, enough. It's Aston Villa. We are
And
seeing
speaking
that.
about more surprise, this next one year surprised even me as an Arsenal fan. Talking about the Golden Glove odds. I mean, who would have predicted at the start of the season that David Raya would win the Golden Glove? It's even more interesting when you consider that he didn't start the season as Arsenal's first choice. It was Aaron Ramsdale, but now he has wrapped up the Golden Glove, and he becomes the first goalkeeper to win it in English first, two top flights, and that's very impressive. Did you see that one coming?
Well, I saw an Arsenal goalkeeper doing well because in terms of clean sheets, because Arsenal's defense is actually really formidable, and getting Declan Rice in meant that they were going to be much harder to break down. We've seen Saliba and Gabriel being like so good. Of course, Ben White as well. So I thought, with the defense in front of whoever is going to be in goal, I mean, the person will be in contention. But I certainly didn't even think Raya would be the starter. coming into the season. So there's that. So
Exactly.
it's still a surprise.
Yeah, and it justifies that for Mikel Arteta's decision to bring in David Raya because last season Aaron Ramsdale was fantastic. Yes, not the best. Sometimes I feel he's too dramatic for for
Yeah.
a goalkeeper, but then he was able to do the business. Brought us now to the Champions League, and that position was taken by David Raya. Raya has kept 15 clean sheets in 30 matches. He missed 2 games, which was that against Brentford. It's a loan deal, so you can play your home side. And not just that, out of these 15 clean sheets, 10 of them have come in this in the from January to
In
this
the
point.
running, yeah.
And these have been the crucial time. We know Arsenal to sort of crumble when it
I
comes to New
understand.
Year, but I think he's one big pillar for them. Judging if they win the title this season, I think you have to look at David Raya and the defensive line of Arsenal and give them the credits that they deserve.
So narrowing it down to players, we've spoken about Arsenal and David Raya, like surprising us with the Golden Glove. But talking about players specifically, regardless of whichever team they play for, which player for you has been so surprising and which player has been so disappointing?
Well, I think Cole Palmer
Yeah.
has been very, very impressive and surprising. Not because we didn't know he was talented. I mean, while he was at Manchester City, he was scoring in these very key matches, and you could see signs of the talent. But to take that leap from a Manchester City to a Chelsea, and I mean, it's not like a leap upwards, but it's a leap to a team where there are still expectations of excellence, and to deliver this kind of season, he has almost 40 goals and assists this season in all competitions. I think that is incredible. So he has been a big surprise package for me. And in terms of disappointment, I would still stay at Chelsea and say Raheem Sterling. Now, Sterling is a player
Interesting
with
choice.
a lot of experience.
Yeah.
And in this Chelsea team with a lot of young stars, a lot of players who haven't found their feet, big signings and all of that, you'd expect that someone like Sterling, who I love very much, by the way, would step up and just be that leading light. But there are times when he acted like a juvenile, or he acted very juvenile with the way he wouldn't pass, in front of the goalkeeper and things like that. And his performances have been very inconsistent. And I've been very disappointed for someone with the experience and talent that he has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'll still stick with Cole Palmer. Moving to Manchester City, I knew he had a lot of potential, but I never knew he was going to spring forth in the first season. Having those number of figures to his name. For me, the flop for me of this season will still I'll stick with Darwin Nunes. Came with all of the bank, feeling that he was going to do a lot of work, and still this, and we said, okay, let's just buy him time. Last season wasn't really the way it should be for him, but still, he's still missing lots of chances this season. If you look at the chances that he had missed, those goals would have been crucial for
For
Liverpool. They would
Liverpool.
have still
Yeah.
been in the title contention. They might even be top ahead of us now.
Yeah.
So I think I'll stick with Darwin Nunes. That's my flop of the season, and for
Yeah.
the star of the season has to be Cole Palmer.
But now we are going to the main action of the day because even though other leagues are rounding up, there's still a lot of action to go in the European competitions, the Champions League and the Europa League. And even though we are nearing the end of the competition as well, there's still a lot of betting action to go. And when we come back, we'll be sharing our best tips ahead of the coming games. Stay tuned. Still an exciting European season so far, and we are nearing the conclusion of the Champions League and the Europa League, as well as the Conference League as well. In the Champions League, it's been maybe like the top dogs, some of the top dogs that we expected are back in a familiar position. Real Madrid are looking to do what they do. I mean, don't just talk. Real
Come on,
Madrid are
celebrate great.
Real Madrid are looking to do what they do,
tired
but
of
they
that.
have a stubborn and tricky Bayern side in their path, and we also have PSG and Borussia Dortmund looking to battle for a place in the Champions League final. And it's been an interesting Champions League so far, and the first leg of the semi-final, brought a lot of excitement as well. But the second leg proves to be unpredictable. So without taking much of our time, there is loads of action to expect. But I'll ask you guys to give me your best insight, expert tips for the upcoming games. Champions League and Europa League games.
Okay. So for the Champions League, I think that PSG will beat Dortmund at home. I can't say whether they would qualify, but I think they win in 90 minutes. So it could be 1-0, it could be 2-1, and then they go play extra time and penalties. But I think that we're going to have a PSG win. Probably a slim win, I don't know. But I think that they're going to win. Real Madrid Bayern, I think it's pretty straightforward. I think Real Madrid beat Bayern.
You're doing well.
I think as much
Loudest.
as I hate it, but I also don't like Bayern either. So there's that. But I believe that objectively, Real Madrid will be too much for Bayern. Bayern haven't looked impressive for me all season, and even in the first leg, I think Real Madrid allowed them back into the game. So for this one, I think Real Madrid will go at them, and it should be a Madrid victory. Club Brugge versus Fiorentina. I think we're going to have over 0.5 or over 1.5. Over 1.5 for the game. I think that we're going to have that because a lot of goals will be scored. I would have said 2.5, but just to be safe, before anybody will come and cut my head. Atalanta, Marseille. I think Marseille conceded in the first half. I'm a Ligue 1 fan. Everybody knows that. And if there's one thing about Marseille I know is that they always start slow and they like to disappoint me. So I will not be putting any faith in them. I think that they concede, but they probably come back or something. Leverkusen versus Roma. I think it's going to be over 1.5. I don't want to bet on. I mean, the obvious thing is Leverkusen will win because they won the first leg 2-0. But I think Roma will also come fighting. Roma are a very good side. So it could even be a draw on the day. But I know that 2 goals will be scored at least. And then for Olympiacos versus Aston Villa, I think that Aston Villa are going to suffer a lot in Greece. Greece is a very, very fierce place to go. Yeah. Olympiacos are very difficult. And as we saw from the first leg, with 4-2 in Aston Villa's home, I don't even think they stand a chance in the second leg. But again, Unai Emery is the only reason why I'm not going to go for a straight win just like that. I think that Emery's pedigree in Europe and his ability to turn things around. I remember his first season, where he really showed himself in Europe was when Sevilla won the Europa League the first time. And they had lost the first leg against Betis 2-0. Yeah. And he went to Betis home and won 2-0, first penalty shootout, and then they go through. So I'm not putting out. So I think it's going to be 1 or over 2.5. I think there will be goals. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I would like to play safe, so I'll be going with the Champions League games and also the Europa League games. So we know we have a PSG versus Borussia Dortmund. I feel these are two teams that know how to score goals and they are not shy in front of goals, especially that of Dortmund. So I'm going for a home win for PSG, but both teams to score. So I think that's going to work well. It's going to play Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. Bayern has not been as solid as expected.
Yeah.
So I still want to think they don't stand a chance away at Spain. So I'll be giving it to Real Madrid, a straight home win for Real Madrid. In the that's in the Europa League, I have Bayern Leverkusen and AS Roma. AS Roma has already lost it away. At their home ground, they were defeated. I don't think it's going to change when they travel all the way to Germany. So I'll be giving a straight win, a home win for Bayern Leverkusen. Atalanta, Marseille, these two teams can score. Marseille are I want tricky side. You don't know when they want to change the tides in their favor. But Atalanta has shown that they are ready to get to the final. So I'll go with both teams to score, but a home win. Like both teams going to score, but a home win. That's the same thing I had for that of PSG.
PSG versus going to be a lot of goals. I don't know who is going to win or who is going to score, but I think there will be about 2.5 goals in that game. And for Leverkusen versus Roma, I think Leverkusen are going to win, so I'm not going with the obvious option of picking them to win. So I'm going with Roma under 1.5 goals. I don't see Roma scoring 2 goals in that game. If they are going to score, it's probably going to be a consolation goal.
Towards the end.
Probably. Yes, I'm backing Roma to score under 1.5 goals. And those are the tips from all three of us right here on the Betting Expert Nigeria set. There's also a Betano code to go with for those looking to place their bet with any of the tips showing right there on your screen. Also, right here on this show, you can win nice prizes through our Tipsters competitions where we'll be organizing regularly. So it promises to be very, very exciting. Myself, Cerebrone, and the Duchess of Sports will be here to guide. We'll also be here to guide you through the Betting Expert Academy, where we'll be bringing rules, tips, and what to follow and what not to do in order for you to become a better. It promises to be really exciting. It promises to be fun, and it promises to be loads of expert tips from all of us right here on set. Till we come your way next time, where we'll be discussing our tips today and how they fared. It's a bye from us. All right, guys. So by this time, probably in the next 7 days,
Arsenal
or
will not
something,
have won
Arsenal
the
will
league.
be
Arsenal will
celebrating
not have
that we
won
are
the
closer